today we're going to talk about finding the solution here when we have variables on both sides. So we have our equation here. I know whatever I do to one side of that dotted line, I have to do the other side. So I could take and subtract 13y on both sides. I'm going to put a negative number. Not a big deal. We talked yesterday about what we could do with our negatives. I just prefer to keep my numbers positive. So instead of subtracting 13y, I would take away the 7y. 7y minus 7y is 0. Still the 3 there. 13y minus 7y is 6y. Add 7. Get rid of minus 7. 10 equals 6y. To catch up here. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. And get 10 6 equals y. You can make this into a decimal if you want, or you can leave it as a fraction. Here you don't have as much of a advantage of leaving it as a fraction because you can't just plug it into where it is the number before. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make this into a decimal. Maybe it's a little easier. You end up with 1.6 repeating equals y. So you even need, if you're making a decimal, you have to keep that repeating sign. That is important. It's not 1.6, it is repeating. You want to leave it as a fraction, right? You can either leave it like that or you can simplify it. Either way, any of these answers are right. To check, you just plug that back in for y, right? I'm going to keep moving today instead of plugging in. Yes, I have these. Okay, next problem. Same type of thing here. You want to pause it, go ahead and pause it and solve it. Right? And then go ahead and fast forward here. Use my distributive property. 12c minus 20, multiplying them both by 4. Okay. Now, that line here now, because I'm going to start doing stuff to both sides. Now, I got to get the c's together. Well, here I'm already subtracting 8c, so I'm going to add 8c. I want to keep it positive. I like to be a positive person. 20c minus 20. Get rid of minus 20, we add 20. Equals 20c. Get rid of 20 in front of the c, we divide by 20, and we get 26 20s. And once again, you can take where you see a c, plug that in. Probably a lot easier to plug it in this number using your calculator, right? And see if you get the same answer on both sides of the equations. See if both sides of the equations come out to be equal. We're going to look at two other types of examples here. What can happen when we have variables on both sides. If you want to pause this and try it, it might be a good experience of trying to figure stuff out on your own here. Come to your own conclusion of what happens here. If we start solving this like we normally do, here's my distributive property. I might not notice, yeah, it looks strange. They're both the same. They're both 8g minus 6. Okay, well, let's continue happening. Let's continue solving it and see what happens. Subtract 8g from both sides. 8g minus 8g is 0. 8g minus 8g is 0. Okay, negative 6 equals negative 6. I want to add 6. Add 6, I get 0 equals 0. Okay. When I get this, the left side equals exactly the right side. They're mirror images of each other, they're reflexive. Okay. That means we have an infinite amount of solutions. It doesn't matter what number you plug in for G, all numbers are going to work. Right? All numbers will work. You have an infinite amount of solutions. So you have all numbers will work in for G. Because it doesn't matter what you plug in for G, they're going to end up getting the same exact thing on both sides. And you could try that here and pick a few numbers and plug them in and see how that works. The next problem, we're going to also have a little different situation than we normally have, where we have G equals a number. You can go ahead and try it and see what you get. I'll work it out and show you. So I got W's on both sides. So subtract by 3W. They cancel. Getting somewhat similar to last time, but it's not identical. Last time we had -6 and -6. Here it's -5 equals 9. I can keep working if I want. I don't really have to do this. Because once I get to this part, I should be aware of, hey, they are not the same. 0 does not equal 14. Right? 0 does not equal 14. So here, there are no solutions. There is no number that you can plug in for W that is going to make this equation work. There are absolutely no solutions. So on our equations, we can have our variable equals 1 value. In a few weeks, or next week here, we'll start getting maybe 2 values. We'll have an absolute value involved. Here today, we looked at, hey, we have no solution, nothing works, or we have an infinite amount of solutions. Everything works, as well as just our simple numbers. So just be aware that not all equations just come out nice and easy, that it's going to be one number. Right? So tonight then, you have you're going to have a couple answers to questions there. You are going to fill out below the video here. You can submit those for class tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.